Hiring of mourners. In some African cultures and tribes, the tradition of hiring professional mourners to lead and participate in funeral ceremonies still exists today. These mourners are often known as griots or grivaliers and are hired to sing, dance, and lead the procession to honor the deceased and provide comfort to the bereaved. The griot's role is to help facilitate the mourning process and ensure that the deceased is remembered and honored in a dignified manner. It is also believed that the presence of professional mourners can help the deceased spirit find peace and make the transition to the afterlife smoother. This tradition is still prevalent in many African cultures, particularly in West Africa, where the griots have a rich cultural heritage and are considered to be an integral part of the community. The types of hired mourners can vary, but they typically perform mourning rituals such as wailing, singing, and dancing. Some cultures may also hire people to play musical instruments or lead prayers. Funeral ceremonies in African cultures can be a big deal because they are seen as an important opportunity to honor and celebrate the life of the deceased, and to bring together the community to offer support to the bereaved. Funerals are also often seen as an opportunity to pass on cultural traditions and beliefs about death and the afterlife. The practice of hiring mourners is common in many African tribes, especially in West African countries such as Ghana and Nigeria. The amount that mourners are paid can vary, but it is typically a small fee for their services. In some African cultures, remembering the dead after 40 days of death is an important tradition. This can include rituals such as visiting the gravesite, offering prayers, or making offerings of food. In the case the Bukusu, a sub-tribe of Luhya in western Kenya, the tradition of taking food to the grave and believing that the deceased has eaten the food is a way of acknowledging their continued presence in the community and honoring their memory. In traditional Luhya culture, it is believed that if a deceased person is not buried in their ancestral home, their spirit will not be able to rest and may bring misfortune to the family. If the dead refuse to go home to be buried, it may indicate that there is an unresolved issue or conflict that needs to be addressed. It is also believed that failure to bury the dead in their ancestral home is a sign of disrespect and can result in the community ostracizing the family. In such cases, it is customary for the community to hold discussions and negotiations to find a solution that will allow the deceased to be buried in their ancestral home. This may involve resolving the issue causing the conflict or finding alternative arrangements that are acceptable to all parties involved. In modern times, however, this belief may be less strict and burial arrangements may be influenced by practical considerations such as distance, cost, and availability of cemetery space.